The Sicha of Pinchas Beis Chelik Yud Gimel is a Rashi Sicha that ends up with a very powerful lesson about our relationship with Hashem and the power of davening. The Sicha is based on Parshas Pinchas, Perek Chav Ches, Pasuk Beis. Hashem speaks to Moshe and says, Tzaves b'nei Yisrael, command the Jewish people, V'amarta lehem, and you should tell them, as Karbani la'achmi le'isha, you should make sure to sacrifice the Karban Tamid. We say this every day in davening. Comes Rashi on the words Tzaves b'nei Yisrael and says, Ma amar l'mayla, what was said previously? In other words, what does this follow? Yivkod Hashem, that Moshe Rabbeinu had asked Hashem to appoint a leader, and Hashem finally spoke about appointing Yeshua and the role of Elazar, etc. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, now that Hashem acquiesced to Moshe Rabbeinu's command, Hashem tells him, if you're commanding me regarding my sons, you're telling me what to do with my children, why don't you command the children regarding me? Mashal Abbas Melech, this is a mashal to a daughter of a king, who was passing away, and who was commanding her husband regarding her sons. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu is the Bas Melech, who was telling her husband regarding the sons, and the king, the husband responds and says, if you're already commanding the kids, if you already want me to take care of the kids, why don't you appoint the kids to take care of me? In other words, make sure that they do what they need to do. Kedesa b'sifri, like it says in Sifri. Rashi wants to know why the parsha follows the other parsha, right? That's the question. Says the Rebbe, no, because if that was what Rashi wanted to know, then he would ask his usual lashon, lama nismacha parsha. Why did this one follow the other? He starts with the words ma'amar l'mayla, what was said previously. And b'chlal, what's the question? I mean, you have to talk about Karbanis. It's coming to the end of Chumash Bamidbar. It's the end of Hashem talking to Moshe Rabbeinu and giving all the Torah, and then we start with Mishnah Torah. So it has to happen over here. And many other questions the Rebbe asks. And also the mashal. What's the mashal that really talking about? First of all, the Bas Melech. Moshe Rabbeinu was the daughter of a king. So what's the husband? What's Hashem? Just a son-in-law. Why? I understand. Hashem's the king, Melech HaOlam. So how does that mashal work? And Rashi Dafka quotes from the Sifri, which has this mashal, which seems to negate, because whenever he's Dafka quoting, he's trying to say, I'm not going to the other mashal. Which other mashal could he be referring to? The mashal, the analogy that's used in Medrash Tanchuma. What's the Medrash over there? Over there, it's talking about a melech who marries a wife, and she had someone that took care of him, a shushvin. And whenever the king would get upset at the wife, the shushvin would go and calm him down. Came time for the shushvin to die. So he says for the king, please make sure to take care of your wife. And the king responds and says, why are you commanding me on my wife? Tell my wife to behave to me. But Rashi doesn't do that. Doesn't take the mashal of the melech. He takes the mashal that Moshe Rabbeinu is the Bas Melech, and the Eibishter is Stam, son-in-law. What's pshat? Comes the Rebbe in Ois Dalid and explains. We already know what it says tzav. That ain't tzav ela lashon zeros. That when it says tzav, Hashem's commanding and saying, get on with it, do it quickly. So on this pasuk, Stautzach HaShayla, Tzavis b'nei Yisrael, command the Jewish people and tell them to bring the Karban Tamid. But it's not the Jewish people who bring the Karban Tamid. It's the Kohanim. What do the Jewish people have to do? Maybe you have to support it, but there's no zrizus really that has to be involved. So what's Tzavis b'nei Yisrael? What exactly are you telling the Jewish people? What's the commandment that went to the Jewish people? So you must say that there was something even before the Karbanis. Tzavis b'nei Yisrael is saying something, and then V'amarta lehem is Karbani lachmishi, something else. What's the Tzavis b'nei Yisrael? Now you follow what goes previously. That Moshe Rabbeinu used a commandment to Hashem. Yifkoid. He doesn't suggest to Hashem. He says, Hashem, you should appoint. Tzav, Hashem responds and says, Achata mitzaveh. When you're commanding me what to do, I'm going to command you what to do. So it's responding to the previous thing. In other words, the question is not why one follows the other. The question is, what's Tzavis b'nei Yisrael? Command them what? They're not doing Karban Tamid. Command them what? Obviously, they're a bit involved. So therefore, it must be that it was Tzavis b'nei Yisrael, tell them to follow my command. obviously one of the things that they'll do, or a big thing that they'll do, is they'll make sure that karbanis are brought up and there will be reach nichoyach. But the main thing is command them to commit. Command the Jewish people to stay loyal to me. But according to this, how could Hashem, according to what we explained, that Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to the Eibishter so harshly and Hashem responds in the harshness, how can Moshe Rabbeinu talk to the Eibishter like that? Yifka, telling him what to do. And also, what's the response? Moshe Rabbeinu is saying something that makes sense, a necessity. They need a leader. And Hashem says, oh, you think you need a leader? Make sure you give me food. Lachmi lishai. Why? What? How's that a response? How does one follow the other? And is that more important than the fact that the Jewish people need a leader? And comes Rashi and says, Mashal mi bas melech. That over here, Moshe is the bas melech who's passing away. And this is how it plays out. Says the Rebbe, often a woman, when she gets married, so she not necessarily asserts herself powerfully. But now it's coming a time, she's about to pass away. And she's a bas melech, so she comes from a strong place of self-confidence and assertiveness. So in this moment, when she's about to pass away, and it's about her children, suddenly she becomes the assertive bas melech, because we're talking about the einiklach of the king. She becomes assertive. And the Baal, the husband, says, please ask the kids to watch over me. Why is the husband not a king? Because the Eibush is talking about the people who not necessarily accepted him as a melech, the people who didn't keep Torah mitzvahs, the people who rebelled. So the Eibush there, in a way, is not their melech. So the bas melech has to command the Jewish people to take the king, to take on the king. But as of now, he's not their melech, so therefore you can't use the mashal of melech. And what's the point? Another point why he's not melech, because a melech has sarim v'avadim and he has other things. And the Eibishter, in this context, all he has is banai, my children. So I need you to make sure that I'm the banai, otherwise I'm nothing. I have nothing if the banai don't follow me. Because the Eibishter needs our bread, and therefore Tzavas B'nai Yisrael is something that's as important as the leader. Just like Moshe Rabbeinu says, Yifkod, he commands because he's assertive, because he is the Roya Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that could stand up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with kifus, with strength, because he was the one that says, Vim ayin, if you don't follow and forgive the Jewish people, Moshe Rabbeinu could talk to the Eibishter so harshly. And the Eibishter, who in this context is not a melech because it's talking about the Yidden who didn't accept him. The Eibishter comes and says, please give me food. It's as important because the Eibishter Pashit needs the karbanis. There is food. A davar echrechi, something that's necessary for the Eibishter kiviyachol. Which is big oisius, big, like when you learn the Sicha, it's like very big oisius about the relationship between Moshe Rabbeinu, the assertiveness. It's very similar in the Mahalach, and the way the Sicha goes to the Sicha Yashikecha Sheshibarta, that the Eibishter is almost taking pride in Moshe's assertiveness, that he could say, stands up and almost Hashem is on the defensive, saying, okay, fine, I'll do what you want. I'll make sure they have a leader. But please, just make sure they take care of me as well. And from here is an incredible Haydah and Ois Zayin, that the connection, the relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Yidden Kiviyachol is like a father to a child. Banim atem l'Hashem lekeichem. But there is nobody else. There's no sarim v'avadim. Eyu l'chol levadcha ve'ein lezarim itcha. There is nobody else. Just the two of us. And this is a constant relationship that has no shinuyim. And therefore there has to be this karban tamid every single day, which brings the nachas ruach. And obviously the Jewish people have to make sure the kohen and bring it. Now, what do we have in today's day and age instead of karban tamid? Tfilah b'makom tamidin tikmun, says the Gemara in Brachos, that davening comes instead of karban tamid. So now you can understand a whole different appreciation of davening. Somebody will sit there saying, big deal, I missed the davening. Shachris mincha ma'ariv. Comes the Eibishter and says, lachmi, this is my bread, I need it. Shnayim la'yayim le'samid, I need to, please make sure, don't miss a davening. And it's even more important than Yifkei Dvei Chavnei Yisrael. It's more important than having a Jewish leader. In the way it's more important than having a Rebbe, a Nasi. That the Yid Pashat has to support the Eibishter. He has to give the Eibishter Parnasa. Every single day, on a special day of the year, in the Yom Pashut of the year, every single day that when we daven, we say, the Eibishter could say, Nachas Ruach Lefane, it's a Nachas Ruach for me, Shal Marti V'Naseh Etzoni, that I asked the Jewish people to do something, and they followed my wishes.